episode number 189 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast. We are recording on January the 1st, 2023. My name is Eric, host of the show, based in Southern Ontario, target shooter, ham radio operator, computer geek, and as a first responder, started an emergency preparedness company to help people get better prepared for at least 72 hours, if not longer.
My name is Ian. I am the token West Coast hippie.
Okay, Alan.
Yeah, whatever you say, Alan.
Camera's on. I'm Ian this week.
Okay.
Alan.
That is true.
It's deep fake, yeah.
And I'm Jeff. I'm based in Central Ontario. I'm a target shooter, ham radio operator, general overall handyman, and weather nerd.
And I'm Brad. I'm in Eastern Ontario. Consider myself a part-time amateur prepper.
I'm Pierre. I am a tactical beard owner, t-shirt guru, non-binary, non-conforming, whatever I said. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. Someone did something in the notes, but I stand by it. I'm good with it.
Yeah, well, love is love, and we love you just the way you are. So,
Yeah. I'm Gavin. I'm also a first responder, an instructor with Ragnarok Tactical, a business owner, and a Magnum PI enthusiast.
Nice.
Want to help support the show and keep Canadian Prepper Podcast area on the air?
Whoa.
Buy some swag. We have both the Canadian Prepper Podcast t-shirt and the tactical Velcro patch at prepperpodcast.ca. All proceeds help keep the lights on and the backup generator fueled.
And if you're
You're still-
enjoying the show, please take a few minutes and like us on Facebook and submit a review on iTunes. Also, we want your feedback, good or bad, or just there's a topic you want us to cover. Email us at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca.
and honestly, if somebody gets on Facebook, tell me what it's like. I haven't been there in years.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's not any
Oh,
better
yeah.
than it was when you got kicked off.
If anything, it's worse.
Not
Yeah.
missing much.
All right, we've got some newly promised content for you in this episode. We're going to start off with some recent news articles. We'll update you on our personal preps, and then we're going to get into the main topic, avoiding the temporary New Year's resolutions, because you all know you're making them. Let's move into the news.
So we'll discuss it a bit more in my weather blurb, but obviously my news is the blizzard that hit the U.S. and Canada over the holidays.
We got snow?
At least 64 people are dead across the U.S., but Western New York, the Buffalo area, was hit exceptionally hard. At present, there's over 40 dead, and that's more than they had in the blizzard of 77.
Yeah, and amazing how them just froze to death in their cars too, right? And
Very
so
unprepared.
we talked about that a few episodes ago about just getting a blanket or tea light, food, water, whatever in your car, and it's just like.
Just some basics, yeah?
But mind you, I mean, this is an Allen moment, but the one lady, especially that made the news big time, was a CO problem because, of course, her exhaust got blocked off. With the
I
snow,
knew
so
you were Alan. I knew it.
I had to represent. So anyway, yeah, she did die of carbon
because
monoxide
you are him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she did die of carbon monoxide poisoning. However, a lot of them died because of the cold, right? And
Yep.
totally preventable, which is sad. And I guess the lady that died of carbon monoxide poisoning, she was even going as far as like she was still texting and telling people what's going on, and all of a sudden kind of went silent after a while. But anyway, it was sad nonetheless, which, could have been easily prevented.
I get
Definitely
that
unfortunate and completely preventable.
Yeah, I mean, I get that this one kind of came out of nowhere, but it did, like, it's wintertime, and we did have a little, like, notice that this was happening. Also, it's Buffalo. They get, like, maybe not this bad, but they get bad snowstorms every single year. It's like people that live in Florida that are not prepared for hurricanes. You know it's coming. It's just a matter of how bad it's going to be. So,
Oh yeah, like
really-
Buffalo's the New York equivalent of Barrie, basically, as far as the massive
I
snowfall.
mean, not to victim shame, but like this is definitely something they should have been prepared for.
If you've been living there for 2 or more years, you know what's going on, or you should know what's going on.
Yeah.
Prep yourself and be safe.
Well, it sounds like the lady that was the poster child there for the whole storm. She literally just went out for like milk. She was basically told her kids, she's like, "Yeah, I'll be right back. I just gonna run to the corner store." I was like, "You could have stayed home." Like, anyway.
Or it got
Yeah,
there a few days ago.
we'll get into it a bit further, and like I said in my weather blurb, but you're right. It was totally preventable, and I think we'll have a bit of a chew the fat on that a little later.
Sounds good. Well, I had just like, Magnum PI, like the crossover episodes with Simon and Simon, right, Gavin?
Yeah.
But I got a crossover article for that'll, kind of cover both podcasts for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, believe it or not, CTV News quoted an article that said COVID-19 testing by Canada on passengers arriving from China is a political move not based on science, which is a far cry from a couple of years ago, where they said COVID-19 testing was a safeguard and it was absolutely mandatory that we had, in order to secure people's safety, they had to be tested upon arrival and quarantine. And now there's like, yeah, this is like completely ineffective. It doesn't do any good. And the fact
Wait a minute.
It's in mainstream articles, and they're saying that the COVID-19 testing is completely useless. I was like, well, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I was listening the other day, and there was they interviewed one of the doctors, or I don't know what his exact position is, but he was heavy on the COVID and vaccines and all this and that, and got to have vaccine. And he even said the same thing. COVID's already here, so restricting them isn't going to change the fact that COVID's already here. So, it's people are catching it. We're not able to prevent it. Vaccines don't prevent the, they're finally admitting that, that the vaccines aren't preventing any of the, of people catching it and spreading it around and whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess all three of my articles are kind of crossover episodes. So the next one is everything's getting more expensive.
Wait a minute.
Global News says that the cost of living projections for all of Canada, but I had a BC article here, are all going up because of the carbon tax, increase in liquor tax, and inflation, and a bunch of the stuff. So they're like, yeah, surprise, everything's going to be more expensive. So I guess if you're going to try and save money by raising your own livestock or buying in bulk or waiting for sales, now would be the time maybe to make that your New Year's resolution to, maybe start being a little more money conscious, because turns out everything is getting pricier.
Yeah, shocking. Who could have predicted this?
Yeah, I know.
Weird.
I can't remember where I heard it, but they basically said the whatever the cost of the increase in cost of food in 2022, you can expect the same increase again in 2023. So, for example, if it costs you $1,000, if you cost your family $1,000 more in 2022, it's going to cost another $1,000 more in 2023.
Great. So
Fantastic.
$5 for a head of lettuce, it seems, is going to be the
new
way
normal.
it's going. Yeah.
Sounds
Right.
like it. Yep.
We're less than 24 hours into 2023, and I already dislike it. Great.
Get a good refund on this one?
Yeah. Can we just skip this year? Yeah.
Well, again.
Skip this year.
Okay, so like that cancel subscription thing. It's like I barely even started. Like, can I just get my money back? Like 99% of my money back. Even like
You get something like that 30-day trial, right?
yeah.
Don't charge my credit card. I'm good with it.
Yeah. I'll just cancel the subscription. I'll keep the 30 days, and
Yeah.
So my third article, again, crossover episode. If we didn't have enough reasons to avoid crowds, like we've talked about before, and avoid going to obvious targets like Times Square in New York on New Year's Eve. So a machete attack happened just outside of security, where they're actually screening people to go into Times Square. And of course, the guy pulls out by looks at the article, a cold steel machete, that's a kukri, and decided to go crazy on some police officers. And so avoid crowds, gun bans don't stop crime, and let's just stay home and go to bed early like I did last night.
crazy talk.
Nothing good happens after like 10 p.m., right?
Yeah, pretty much. So
9 p.m. Come on now.
yeah, that's pretty much all I had.
All right, then. Anybody else with news articles? All right, let's move to what we've done lately for preps.
Scott? Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Not here.
Not here.
Well, thanks to some very close friends of mine. One who's, according to the screen, sitting there. I got a push to clean up a little bit in my basement over the weekend, and I did some more of it yesterday. So that was Friday. At Pierre and Mel were over, and we did a bunch of cleaning in my basement. And yesterday I did a bunch more, get some more of my stuff cleaned up down there, and get my rec room started. And a bunch of work. I did I did so much walking on. I know Alan has me beat huge from yesterday, but I had so much walking over the last week. I did 10,000 steps from when I started work at 8 o'clock until 10:30. I did 10,000 steps in the warehouse at work, sorting packages. My feet were freaking sore as hell. And I just kind of relaxed with the family and friends and whatnot over the last week or so, and that's about it.
Questions. With the stuff you're clearing out of the basement, are you selling it, giving away? What are you doing with it?
Ian might need some stuff for CGN deals.
Yeah, just saying.
He's also concerned about it releasing carbon monoxide.
Well, actually, no. There's a point I'm asking to this. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
So,
What's up?
anyways, with the rec room, so is there going to be like? What? Tell us more about it. Is it going to be a bunker, wet bar, like gun safe? What's going on?
Rumpus
I have
room.
a gun safe, but I actually don't have any guns yet. I'm working on
Good
that
save.
one.
Good save. Well done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Prove me wrong.
Absolutely. No, more of like a rec room. I do want to put a good size panel or like cabinet on the wall that can fold out to a bar, somewhere that we can go and relax. We want to get the TV out of the living room and downstairs into a rec room. Somebody comes over, friends over, whatnot. There's no TV in the living room. It's a family room. It's a meeting room. Downstairs is the entertainment room, whatnot. And go that route, and we'll see what else happens. There's not a lot to actually sell that's down there, but if you're looking for something, send me a list. I might be able to work out something.
Well, I just say you might be able to finance your wet bar or something like that at the very least, or your bunker, whatever, you know. Like
That is true.
The secret bookcase entrance to the bunker, whatever.
I might have appliances that'll actually help with that, to sell some appliances very shortly, and then that'll help with some of the costs of lumber and whatever else I need. So that's all right. I'm done with that.
Hopefully that doesn't go up too much in the new year.
Oh God, I know, right?
Yeah, I have a good line on the, with what I do for a living. I have a good line and good contacts with people in the building industry that I can usually get some pretty good deals. So I'm not too worried about that. But I agree with you. Hopefully it doesn't go up too much.
Cool. Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just waiting for the conversation about the basement to finish. I actually did really nothing. I was hunkered down for a few days because of the storm. It wasn't as bad in our area. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And then I've spent some quality time with the family. So it was good to see some people I haven't seen in a couple of years because of our dreaded COVID and all of that stuff. So it was good to get back together.
Nice. I see Scott has joined us in the live chat, and he has also done nothing. So at least he's here in the live chat. Could have come on the panel, Scott, but yeah.
At least he logged into YouTube. That's something.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. For myself, same kind of thing. Holy snow. It's a lot of time digging out and just digging some more, and then digging a little bit more. Learned the importance of having a backup control cable for the deflector on my snowblower. So that's going to be a thing. Because, that decided to snap about 5 minutes into the first round of snow blowing. And all I could do is shoot snow straight up. And, of course, the wind is blowing back at me. So, yeah, that sucked. At least it still worked and it threw the snow. But it was not all that great.
They make clear plastic enclosures. I mean, they look stupid as all hell, but
I'm not that old yet. I'm not Scott's age.
Almost as bad as those student things that for the COVID that they had to roll in the past, right? But,
yep. And on top of that, found a good deal on some propane tanks and spent a lot of time in our group chat talking about propane tanks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to start a snowball on that one.
That was fantastic. That was a lot of fun.
4 different orders I tried.
Yeah.
And 4 times they got canceled. I was very
the amount of test orders that were done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we pissed a few people off at Walmart.
Well, $13 propane tanks, you can't go wrong, right?
No.
$11.62.
Whatever, yeah. That was cheap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
and luckily, thanks to Jeff, was able to find a couple in Hamilton. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not complaining. I don't know what you guys are all upset about. I'm not complaining.
yep.
Well, you got the product and we didn't. That's what we're complaining about.
I'll tell you what,
That sounds like
I got a
you
couple.
problem, not a me problem.
I got a couple propane tanks, $50 a piece. I'll fill them up too. Costco's down the road.
Yep.
And Kyle's asking
That's
no radio checks in the blizzard, Eric.
No, I did watch my antenna in the backyard as the snow came down, and I was making sure I was watching it kind of sag and blow back and forth with the big winds. It stayed up, so I must have secured it properly. So I was happy with that.
Yay.
But beyond that, I had the radio on, of course, because I always do. But yeah, nothing radio wise for this segment. I know, weird for me, but every once in a while, I got to keep you on your toes, right?
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay?
Oh yeah, just fine. Little withdrawals, but that's okay.
Didn't
I got
catch
my
anything
radio.
from the kids?
I got my radio here. I'm good.
Well, I think I made it 9 years in denial, but I think I about a week ago, long before New Year's, I resolved, so to speak, to get a snowblower because we had a couple of heavy dumps here, and it was just like, I am not shoveling this. So I ended up having to wait till the rain cleared it off because it was like I just drove the vehicles down at the start of the snowstorm, and I couldn't get it in my driveway for a couple of weeks there. So I was like, okay, I think I actually got to get a snowblower at this point. So yeah, sad day. Anyway,
Get one. Just remember control cables.
Yeah.
Well, I've got
That's fair.
I got the backup starter cables, right? Like, remember that?
Yeah, yep, that
generator
too. Yep.
problems.
Yeah.
So, what I've done lately for preps? Well, I guess we'll get into this a little later too. But before New Year's happened, I changed the starter on the quad, which has been a pain in the deuce for quite a while. But I just kept on putting it off because it wasn't important enough to dedicate the time to. But didn't want to enter the new year with something hanging over my head, so got rid of that. And let's see here, chopped down some deadfall. That was overhanging the power lines, and once again, I think the one came down and kind of went into three pieces before it even hit the ground. It was that kind of dicey, so I'm glad I got that one out of the way. Worked on the cliffside today, so I made the fire break thicker with like 4 C's thicker. Like, I don't know, it's definitely a bigger fire break now. Let's see here, I got 2 transformers entering the property, and both of them have like evergreens swinging against it during windstorms, and I'm like, this is not going to end well. So basically, by the end of tomorrow, I should have them all down. So that's kind of good. I did 2 range trips and
Ooh,
a CGN deal.
there it is.
There it is.
I got to cover. I had to cover off Alan and my stuff today. So
Yeah. Divesting of yourself of everything, right?
that's right. So I mean, I hadn't been to the range in like what, I don't know, 3 months, and finally, I had a couple things I had to like sight in, and a couple things I had to like experiment with, type of thing, with some reloading and stuff. So yeah, it was justifiable two range trips in 2 days because as of January 1st, they changed out the keys to the local gun range. That's usually like a couple weeks before I even get an appointment with the guy to get my new keys. So it's like I just want to get it done before then. Let's see here. So yeah, I mentioned the reloading. I tried out doing some boiled linseed oil. Wood finishes on like the cheap packs I got from Harbor Freight there a couple months ago, and tried to refinish my grandpa's old woodworking mallet. So it was like a solid hardwood mallet, and I kind of got over all the broken bits and replaced the handle and got all squared up because it's probably going to go on the wall behind me here with the antique guns and all that stuff that I got from him. So yeah, it'll be kind of a neat thing once it gets all set up. Let's see here. Foam insulated the outside of the house because the wife was doing the insulation on the inside of the house, so I thought I'd just take care of the leaks. And by the way, I'm doing all this stuff because my family doesn't like me during the holidays, and so I have all this spare time. So it's nice having like an estranged family. It's kind of good that way. Let's see here. My daughters did come for a day each, but they were like, here and back, picked up the gifts, left, high five, peace out, and that was it. Let's see here, collected up some stuff for the Ontario car. So I got a GB40 booster pack from Canadian Tire last week. And I'm going to be bringing that out to kind of get the car kitted out because it's basically an empty shell right now.
Don't tell Jeff where the car is.
Well, he'd have a tough time getting to it where it is right now. It's legit in a concrete complex, so that's pretty good.
Don't underestimate him.
Talk to me in about a week and a half, and then I can.
Yeah, you might be able to tell him where it is.
Yeah, I might be able to see it from where I am right now.
Yeah, and then let's see here. I got a little fuel rotation done, and most importantly, the reason I asked about Brad's building project is because I got a building project announcement too. So got inspired for a off-grid sauna with like a hot water department and laundry facilities and everything else, like traditional Finnish sauna. And I sold the Department of Finance on it, and so she said yes. And so I started to do some research on that, and so we actually like started like pacing out the area we're going to put it in, like up on what we call the lookout. It's literally on a cliffside, and it kind of looks out in the forest and stuff. And so we're not only going to build it this summer, we're probably going to videotape it all the way through. So that might be an interesting thing. Go on the old YouTube channel.
It's very Nordic of you.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good because I'm going to do like that. I showed you guys on the private chat that burnt wood kind of look that we did on the axe handle.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to do the whole walls of the sauna on the outside like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And kind of make it look a little traditional and weathered and everything else. And so, yeah, that's kind of exciting. So it's not going to be cheap, I'm sure, with the building costs nowadays, but I'm going to space it over like 10 months and hopefully get her done in time for next winter. This is kind of the goal, so we'll see.
Very nice.
Anyway, so that's the exciting news this week. So
awesome.
It wasn't so much a resolution. It was just I was finally able to kind of make it work and sell it as a off-grid prep thing. So anyway, that's it.
Marketing. It's all about the marketing, right?
That's right.
I got a little bit of food rotation and prep in. Pretty much enjoyed the time, holidays with friends, family, and the like 3 days just stuck in the house because of the snow. And the wind was blowing where we blow the snow, so I was like, I'm not going outside and dealing with what Eric dealt with. Just get blown in the faces. Like I come in, I got too much facial hair and everything for that. We're looking at land and different options for building a house because it looks like this year, hopefully, we'll be able to get that ball rolling. Hopefully sooner before this inflation price and everything costs more. So we're looking at different options of a turnkey ready or just like a frame. And guy I work with is general contractor for years. He's like, if I had the time, I'd build the house for you. He's like, but we can make anything. So I was like, all right, so we're pricing stuff out. So we've got some appointments next week for that. So that'll be nice.
Nice.
Actually,
nice.
Steve, husband of one of the podcast panelists, said lumber's down to pre-pandemic levels here in the Okanagan. Building costs are coming down a bit, at least maybe.
Nice.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully it stays like that when I need to get lumber.
There is actually a cedar mill down just south of Nanaimo here that will do custom pieces for like saunas and stuff. So I'm hoping to go bug them and see if I can get that done locally. So that'd be kind of cool.
I could smell it already. Just
like I saw. Of course, you do the YouTube research about some of these yahoos. They're doing their own off-grid saunas. They're doing like knotty pine and stuff. And like 2 weeks into it, like the pine knots are like leaking sap and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like a buy once, cry once thing. So I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah. When you're building things, do it right.
Yep.
Do it once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Measure 3 times, cut once.
I will make sure not to do a live show from the sauna because chances are it'll be like a true Finnish sauna, if you know what I'm saying. Like,
Why did you have to? I hate 2023. That's it. Yep.
Shoulders up, Ian. Shoulders up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be for the OnlyFans. That'll be like the paywall stuff, maybe like live chat from the sauna. But
Oh, jeez.
Waterproof cameras.
I have to start pronouncing it like sauna or something like that.
Onlyfans.com/CPP Ian.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, jeez. Well, with that, should we move into the main topic? Now that everybody's got that wonderful image in their head.
Yeah. What did you actually name this episode for YouTube?
New Year, New Prepper.
Oh, see. Well, the original title was New Year, New Me is bullshit.
Yeah.
And it is.
And I will say it is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yep. I just didn't want the YouTubes or the Facebooks to just completely cancel the feed before we even got its going.
Before you even start, yeah.
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 So, well, thanks to Gavin. Gavin came up with the idea for this one, right? And so, yeah, like I think Gavin could probably add to this, but I mean, most of the people start off the year with saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to become a new person." How often does that work out?
It's
I tell
you next year.
I saw a thing on the news the other day, and they said most New Year's resolutions last no more than 10 days.
Yeah,
that's impressive. Mine usually lasts about 3.
I don't even make them.
Yeah.
I get the sentiment, right? Like, and it is kind of like it's a new year, it's time for a new stuff. But like, I mean, if you're into the whole prepping thing, you should be constantly trying to make yourself better every single day. So just deciding to do this once a year is really all not that inspiring. It's like, like you should just a little bit every single day to get better. So it's not a yearly resolution. It should be a daily or hourly even, right? Like you should always be pushing to get better.
Almost like a Patriot challenge or something, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I think
Lots
not
of
a
crossover in
resolution,
this
but an
episode.
affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
No resolution, affirmation. Keep doing better. Keep doing better. Keep doing better.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, nobody's going to be perfect, right? We're all going to screw up and whatever it is that we do, that's just
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, our name's
Right.
there.
So like, you know, if anything, the resolution should be to like not beat yourself up so badly when you don't follow through on the thing, but like just do better. But that should be a daily thing. So yeah. New year, new me is bullshit.
Well,
Absolute bullshit.
Talk about like a negative feedback cycle, right? Like, I mean, you make it like this awesome New Year's resolution, like I'm going to have a 3-way with Margot Robbie and the wife this year, and then, of course it doesn't come true, and you're like,
Yeah, your whole year hinged on this one thing. Yeah.
it's just like I'm going to win the lottery this year. Well, it looks like it didn't work out that way. So yeah, like you got to set some realistic goals at this point, right? I mean, like this is the year I turned 50. I'm not as old as Scott, mind you, but you know I am old enough to know that I just won't hold true to my New Year's resolutions at this point. So I've actually changed my outlook to it. Is like, don't drag it into the new year. So if I have something that's been hanging over my head for quite a while, like changing the starter on the quad, I made a deadline of the new year to get it done. That way I have a more sense of I guess accomplishment right off the bat.
Yeah. Well,
And-
like,
I like
deadlines is a different thing than like, because sometimes you need that. We all have a bajillion projects on the go between, you know, our personal lives and work lives and everything else, and sometimes you've got to prioritize those by assigning deadlines. That's a way to make things happen.
Yeah. I think you get a
Different,
better
yeah.
success rate with that than you will with having a New Year's resolution where there's no timeline,
Yeah.
there's no defined goal usually, and everything else. And it's just
Well, even with the defined goal, it's like, I'm gonna hit the gym. It's like, well, okay, well, why did you just do that today? Why are you waiting a week to do that?
Yep.
Like, just start now.
yeah, like Jocko says, basically like do it.
Just
just do
stop,
it.
stop
Just do
being
it.
terrible and just be better.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
generally
it's,
don't
it's a
suck.
good point. The whole setting a deadline thing and then saying, yeah, I'm going to join the gym, but I'm not going to go until New Year's, but it's 2 weeks out from New Year's. Like,
just start.
Just
Just
do it.
start light.
Just-
Just go.
yeah, the whole arbitrary date of January the 1st to start things, or I guess some people need that to set a date to get themselves all ready mentally for it, but just start.
Well, it's just like the deadline, right? To finish the goal by then, you need to start the goal at some point. So I can see the start date of New Year's because it is the start of a new year. It's a great time to start. But I also agree that why are you waiting? If you want to go to the gym now, why are you waiting another 10 days, 2 weeks? Whatever? Just start. Just go.
I know why. All the deals. It's only $1 to join.
Yeah, you know, some
There's
gym
even still
memberships
like
don't-
Boxing Week deals on, but yet that was 2 weeks ago.
I don't think gym memberships actually lower their prices for January. I think they tend to jack them up.
I
But,
would assume they would.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Or they
okay,
give you a low price, but you have to sign up for 6 months, 5 of which they know for sure you won't be there.
yeah,
Well, you got to sign up for 12 months because that way you'll show up for 2. You'll
Yeah.
skip the rest. And then next year, you have
Yeah.
to sign up again because you're back to your New Year's resolution, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
because
actually
it's
kind of brilliant marketing.
well, the societal, like, what do you call it? Like, I guess societal pressure to do something on New Year's. So it usually makes people like they won't price check or price compare or
Right.
do any research on like a gym membership. They usually like end up costing them more money because these people know these things. They're going to jack up the price and make you pay for like 12 months in advance or whatever to get the good deal.
But
And
the first
or-
one's $1. Come on.
yeah. Or you're going to buy stuff you won't use, like a weight set for the basement that, you know, might just go get thrown in the corner and later finance the wet bar or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's,
You can do that.
yeah, seriously, you could resell it. All those things are sitting in the corner from all those previous New Year's, man. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to buy my 2-year gym membership from 2 years ago. But we can try.
maybe not. You can sell them the fob and tell them it works or something. I don't know. But,
Good luck.
Yep. Technically, it would still work. It just won't let you in the building, but it's still functional.
That is true.
Yep.
It still sends and receives the signals it needs to do. It's just
not authorized.
That's
all.
Steve mentions he made a New Year's resolution years ago, and he's still doing very good with it. That was to not make any more New Year's resolutions.
That's a good one. Yeah, that
is a good one. Yep.
Yeah, that's a really easy one to keep.
Yep.
Wise beyond New Year's.
Yeah, but I mean that's like the "I'll never drink again" promise, right? Like you can't keep that.
Come on.
I said that last night. Well,
at the moment you might mean it.
Yeah, but a day or two later.
Yeah, when the hangover's gone. And...
Yep. Mm-hmm. Or I guess for Ian, it's a 3-day hangover now, right?
Oh, pretty much, yeah. I actually poured myself an eggnog. I think it was New Year's Eve. The wife had a bunch of eggnog left over because, of course, the kids were supposed to come over and drink it, and they didn't spend any time at home. So we had all this eggnog to use up. So I was like, "Oh, I'll just throw some rum in it and see what happens." So I threw the rum in the eggnog. And I was like, I got about halfway through. I was like, I'm done. Yeah,
It's more rum than eggnog.
And so now I was hungover. I'm still hungover. Who am I kidding?
It was clearly the eggnog that did it.
Yeah.
Were you drinking out of the traditional moose head cup?
No, not Clark style. Not at all. Dang it. That was probably the problem.
That's where you messed up.
Yeah.
Maybe you're lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Take out the eggnog next time. Just drink the rum.
Well, eggnog is the food of the devil, basically. So I stick to the rum.
Yeah.
I mean, thousands of pirates can't be wrong.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Just a little bit of like lemon or something in there to keep the scurvy away too.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah.
Solid plan. So I guess we can all agree that no life overhaul magically happens January 1st.
No.
And I think you mentioned the best outcomes usually the slow and steady. So I mean, if you tune into Patriot Podcast tomorrow night, you can talk about the Patriot Challenge, where basically they try and get people to read, exercise, improve themselves, drink water, and if you do that every week, you'll probably be much better off than trying to hit the gym for a month.
Well, exactly, right? If you make little improvements every day to better yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, you're going to be a better person. You're going to be better able to help your friends and family that, you want to help and do all of the things. Like it all starts at home and with yourself. And,
I actually get to watch your show tomorrow night.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
First time in like a year and a half or so, I get to watch your show tomorrow night.
Well, there you go.
Huh.
Denny did in fact buy some kettlebells and ended up in the garage. Sell those things, man.
Yeah.
They make great
didn't
door
even make it
stops.
to the basement.
Yeah. Or blunt weapons. I'm just saying, like weapons of opportunity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or if
But
you
you
want
have
to
to
do
be
one of
able-
those things that like closes the door for you with the pulley, they're good for that.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I've been on some construction sites where the guys have done that. Used a kettlebell.
Or you could go
Very
and,
good use of it.
as part of your New Year's resolutions, go out and buy a VHS tape of Billy Blank's Thai Bo and then use those kettlebells down.
Yeah. Although
No.
No, Richard Simmons videos. Richard Simmons
Yes.
videos.
Richard Simmons, there you go.
Yeah, if you go VHS, you're getting Richard
Yeah.
Simmons.
Sweat to the oldies,
Wow.
baby.
well, I mean, you could also go like Carmen Electra had hers, and then Cher had hers as well. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Although I
you
will
go.
give some friends of mine kudos. They're very much into the fitness thing, and like they wake up at stupid early o'clock and do the thing. So they didn't do a resolution. They did a punishment at the end of the year for every time that they woke up in the morning and were like, I'm too lazy, I'm too tired, I'm too whatever to go to the gym. They did 2,023 reps. Took them 2 hours. But they did it.
Wow.
Before his immediate arrest for child endangerment or child exploitation, didn't Andrew Torba, or what was that? What was that guy's name again? Not Torba.
Tate?
Tate. Didn't he talk about 500 push-ups or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like 500 push-ups in a day. Oh, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah.
No.
They did like 10 of this circuit thing, and when it was all done, it was 2,023 reps.
Well, to each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, good on them.
Float your boat.
Yep.
But that was the like, it wasn't a resolution because they do this every day. It was the deadline. It was like, we're doing this today, and we're not going to stop until it's done. And then they like ate a bunch of meat and apparently like passed out at 7:00. That's like, yeah, that sounds
like a
right.
party. Actually, it sounds.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
So next thing is during the New Year's party that you're at, and you decide you're going to make all these great resolutions. Like Lily, who makes good decisions when they're drunk?
I do.
Other than never
All the
drinking
time.
again, never drinking again is usually.
I think we all make the best
Drinking
decisions.
more.
Yeah.
I've made really good decisions when I've been drinking.
Yeah, especially financial decisions.
Yeah.
I just don't remember them in the morning.
I heard this FTX thing is really awesome. You guys should. It's going places. I know it is.
Yeah.
Let's start
sure
a
is.
podcast. Yeah.
Down the tank.
Oh boy.
So, anybody been the victim of instant versus delayed gratification?
No.
I mean, yeah, but I probably shouldn't talk about it on the internet. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a different kind of gratification, though. I think actually, but yeah, no, I mean, I think that's where a lot of these retailers and stuff do capitalize on the New Year's resolutions, because like they offer an advertisement that's going to solve your problem and make your life better, and people want the wacky instant gratification, and instead of actually working for it, like Patriot Challenge or etc. They try and just fix their problems with either cash as fast as possible, right? And then it ends up costing them. Well,
So you mean that $100 pill I bought won't change everything?
you paid $100?
It might, but it won't change what you want.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about time preference, man. Like, do you
I
put
think you
the,
can order those pills from India for much cheaper too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's in them.
they work probably just as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely, yep.
Yeah. But yeah, if you put in the work now, you'll get the rewards later, and the rewards will be better because you'll have earned them and all of the things. Or yeah, like sometimes there is a quick, easy, cheap fix, but is it going to be
That's
better?
rare. Yep.
Yeah. Probably not. I mean, then you'll be the guy sitting in your sweet sauna with tar all over your back. And,
Yeah, it could be that. We'll see.
it's just going to be gross in there, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a friend of mine actually did buy a freeze dryer recently, but he's got a business case for it. But a lot of people like make a resolution for preps and say, "I'm going to buy a freeze dryer." It's like a $5,000 to $10,000 expense, but they have no plans on what they're going to freeze dry. They don't have a garden, so they don't have excess produce or anything else. They're not planning on renting it out, so they can't really get their money back on it. So like they just randomly do something like that, but they're just destroying themselves economically without really thinking about it. But it's doesn't always solve your problems just by going and grabbing something.
No, yeah, there's a lot you got to set in motion to make that work.
That kind of investment work. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where the marketing kind of bites everybody, right? They throw all this stuff at you and say, yeah, this is going to solve all your problems. They know what people are going to resolve and what they want to try and do every year, the common things that everybody always says they're going to do. And then they'll throw that marketing in your face and go, here you go. Here's the solution to it, and make you part with your money. And then we said you got none of the actual planning behind it to actually do the thing. And then you do it all again next year.
Do you want to get prepared? Here's a 50 meal bucket that's like nothing but granola, and you hate granola, but you bought it anyways because it's going to get you prepared.
Because I want to get prepared.
Yeah. Or you're going to learn to love granola.
Yep.
It's about as effective as a resolution. Yeah. It's not going to work. Hate it even more.
Yep.
You have to eat it every day for.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's for.
So, yeah,
Well,
don't make resolutions.
I just kind of wanted to throw it out there to especially the newer preppers that might be out there, whatever. Just take things slow and steady. Gavin was absolutely right on when he said, do something every day or every couple of days. Doing something is better than doing nothing.
Exactly.
Cost out your preps and budget for what you need, not just what you want. Especially with the cost of things nowadays and the price of everything going up. Don't get yourself into a financial bind.
Yeah.
By like Ian says, buying your $5,000 or $6,000 freeze dryer that you're probably not going to use or something like that. put some thought into it. Look at, your budget and all that stuff. You don't need the added stress of all of a sudden going, gee, I really want to have this, but where am I going to get the 5,000 from? Or spending the 5,000 and then going, gee, now how am I going to pay for it? How am I going to, I put that on my credit card now and I can't pay off my credit card. And that extra stress is not going to help you,
It's not going to help you fix the problem. It's just going to add to it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
You think you're getting further ahead, and you've got that. Oh, I put this thing out there that now I have to do it, right?
Yep.
And so you get caught up in this whole thing, and you don't want to fail at your resolution because and it adds all the extra stress. But yeah, just small incremental things, right? Like if you want to have a fully stocked pantry, that's your resolution, right? Don't just go out and fill it. Do it in a way that makes sense.
Yep.
Go buy 1 can extra every time you go to the store. Like, what are the odds that like the disaster is going to happen tomorrow? I mean, it might, but if you haven't gone to the store tomorrow to buy your $5,000 worth of whatever it is that you're buying, you're just as screwed if you. So just start slow, whatever it is. Physical fitness. Start slow. Don't go and hurt yourself by I'm going to make the resolution to run 10K a day, and you go do that and you hurt yourself. And now you're like, oh God, everything hurts. And then you set yourself back. I'm going
to walk 10K.
Yeah. I'm going to walk 500 meters today just for the sake of walking it. Not just in the course of my daily day. I'm going to just purposely do this.
Yep.
Then tomorrow do the same thing.
Walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, on top
and
of
then tomorrow
don't
do the same
count it
and the same and the same and build the habit and slowly increase, whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah,
and just
I think you said it right
better.
there. Is building the habit, right? That's the thing. And everybody, I think, kind of falls down where you get tied up with the hype of, hey, it's New Year's, it's my resolution, I'm going to do this, it's going to be great. You get into it, and then you haven't formed that habit, but you're all rah, 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 go, 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 go. And then 2 weeks into it, you go, this is a lot. Or I just don't want to do it anymore. And it's not, it doesn't
this is
build
terrible.
that habit,
I don't
right?
like this. Yeah.
It doesn't get built into your daily routine. It doesn't get built into your normal thing that you do on, every other day or every day or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And people get frustrated with it. They get bored of it. They get tired of it. And then you quit 2 weeks in. So it's a matter of just building it into your daily routine and not making it a resolution, just making it just something that you want to do versus rah, rah, rah. New Year.
That's the thing. Whatever it is, if all of a sudden you decide that this isn't for you, but you've put this big commitment out there to the public.
Yep.
That's that thing that keeps you doing it, even if you I get the accountability thing. I have friends of mine and we do the accountability thing, but it's all something we willingly participate in and are all actively working for. We just did our ruck challenge, and it's but we're all putting our stats in there, and there's a lot of shit talking, but it's also a lot of when someone did it, we're yes, excellent job.
Yep.
So I get that. And that's an important thing for all of us to have those accountability buddies and to hype us up and do it, but do it in the right way and not just put this arbitrary promise because it's the 1st of January out there that is some unobtainable goal and ridiculous. It's more stress than accomplishments come from that.
No, totally agree.
Yeah.
It's almost a better idea to take that idea that you have for New Year's, pack it away for a week or two, and then once all the hype of rah, rah, rah New Year's is gone, then start to implement it.
Yeah.
And start to build it into
you
your
want to do.
Yeah.
Or just keep it to yourself and just start doing the thing.
Nobody's going to know but you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, if all of a sudden you're man, I thought this would be really fun. It is terrible.
I'm going to stop now.
Then there's no stress, right? No one knew that you were going to do this amazing thing.
Yeah.
The only person you're disappointing is the one in the mirror.
Yeah. And if you're okay with it, then you're okay with it.
Yeah.
I just won't look in the mirror.
Yeah.
I gotta try and resolve to get better internet connections here.
Good luck with that.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
That's right. Damn
Is
it!
that your New Year's resolution?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Starlink.
that's right.
No,
There
I
you
keep-
go.
I have no idea what happened there. It just literally just blanked out the whole router and everything just went, and then had to reset the whole thing.
I keep getting emails
Whatever.
from Rogers assuring me that they are working hard and beefing up their thing ever since the outage.
Just gonna say whatever you say, Alan.
Which one?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny because I'm on Shaw, but they just got bought out, or they're getting bought out by Rogers or whatever. Like
There,
just,
yeah.
I think they're just giving up on maintaining infrastructure or something because they figure it's Rogers' problem now or something.
Or that's just the Rogers.
I was gonna say.
That's
I was saying,
Rogers
welcome
in
to
it,
the
yeah.
Rogers Club. Yeah.
It's funny how
they're
you're
just
not
getting
supposed
ready.
to have
They're getting you ready.
monopolies, but then
Yeah.
they let companies just buy up all the other ones, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
We could talk about
This
media.
was not
We
happening.
could talk about media monopolies around the world, but
Yeah.
We don't got 4 hours.
Yeah.
well, it doesn't take long to talk about that. But anyway,
That sounds like a tomorrow night deal.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Monday night at 9. Yep.
Yeah. You guys are all welcome. We'll have another crossover episode. Yeah.
so whereabouts are we? Since I'm playing catch up here.
Well,
Yeah,
everyone's
we're
just,
just
announcing their resolutions now that we've said
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So it's your turn.
Well, I did mine, so there you go. And I've probably already failed. So
Yeah. Yeah. We completely backtracked and we said, yes, resolutions are fantastic. Everybody should do them.
Yeah.
And rah, rah,
And
rah.
do them right now, tonight.
Yeah.
Get them done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, since Shaw was literally the only internet provider here, well, I guess unless Elon starts offering it up, I don't know. We'll see. But is Elon
Isn't
a
his
thing
thing
yet?
Starlink?
For Starlink a thing yet?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It certainly
Yeah, it
has. It's been a thing for a while now.
I had a box that was about 18 inches wide, 12 inches long.
That sounds like a
16
dirty
inches
story.
tall.
Wait a minute.
It
Wait a
had
minute.
big
Hold on.
Starlink symbol on it that went through my hands 3 days ago.
That didn't end the way I thought it would, but
No.
Yeah.
I had to look at it twice and make sure it wasn't like D-Link that I was looking at or something. Starlink, like, oh crap, I know what that is. Put it in a cage.
Yeah.
and keep
Yeah. I've
going.
heard they've been just slowly rolling it out up here. I haven't heard great things about it yet, but I mean, it was kind of like their test pilot up here kind of a thing. So
I know a few people that have it, but they're literally like one of my buddies uploads stuff on YouTube and all that stuff, and it's the only way he's gonna get anything out is through
Yeah.
that. He's on
yeah.
I don't know how many acreage off grid cabin. He's got no power lines, no option of anything, and he's like, may not be the best. He's like, but it's this, or it's like
It's something.
you know.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even have cell reception that great, right? So he's like, it's the only way I can keep up to date other than like emergency broadcast for weather. So he's like, it's fairly affordable. He's like, it's pretty good. He's like, it's probably not as good as, you know, having high speed fiber internet anywhere. He's like, but it does do its thing. And, you know, it's not crazy expensive, he said, but it's something.
Do I have an episode for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Anybody else have anything else New Year's resolution wise?
No, I'm with was it Steve in the chat there?
Yep.
That said he's not making any New Year's resolutions anymore. Just gonna do like Jocko said. You know, I don't listen to Jocko at all, but just do it.
Well, that's a resolution. You should start listening.
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've tried to listen to a couple of his, and I like his principles, and I'm sure if I had a book of his, I could read it. Something about his voice.
Do I
and
have
the
a
way
book
he
for you?
talks.
Oh yeah, got a couple.
Oh,
books.
yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
I've seriously tried because I know everybody likes him. I just can't. I don't know what it is about his voice. I just don't like it.
Oh, I am the exact opposite. I even
I
like his like fiction book,
Audible.
like Final Spin, and it is terrible. Like it is like he is a brilliant man that can talk on all kinds of stuff, but this book was just terrible. The only reason I got through it was because like once I started, I have to finish it, but also because I did the audio one and it's him reading it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm pretty sure he could like market himself reading out of the phone book or something, and he'd still make money.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's someone for everyone, and then sometimes you just can't stand some people. But for me,
could be different podcasts I'd listen to,
Yeah.
just not the right one to listen to. But no, I'm willing to try anything at least once.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Peterson. It's his voice. I just can't.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I've heard that with others too, that they don't like him talking.
Yeah.
He sounds too whiny, but he's a very intelligent man.
Yeah. His books are.
Very
I
good
enjoy
points.
his books.
but he sounds like Kermit the Frog. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't.
I've not heard that one before, but I like that one.
Yeah. I'd say that's probably the closest descriptor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Discipline Equals Freedom is a great book.
Yep.
All right. I'll put it on my
Especially
list.
on
I
Audible.
just got $100 Visa card from my parents for Christmas, so
Nice.
add that to my my list of stuff to buy from Amazon, and I'll give it a go. I will give it an honest go and see what happens. I'm not gonna discount it at all.
Pretty sure you'll find a discount on Audible right now for all those New Year's resolutions of getting more books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on the book, I love the Audible option for it. Yeah. The amount of driving I do sometimes, I'm like, I can get an
I'm in
8-hour
that boat.
book in a day.
Yeah, I'm a big
Or in
Audible
2
person.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the book itself, but sometimes it's just easier with the way life goes and everything to have that instead of especially listening to like news radio or whatever.
Yeah.
It's way better.
67 books this year.
I used to be a
Nice.
That's
big
impressive.
reader in my youth and up to my 30s, and now I have a huge collection of different fiction and nonfiction books that I've just been collecting for when it hits the fan. There's something to do. Like Alan says, it's lots of entertainment, lots of reading, lots of knowledge.
Yep.
And I'm thinking more and more like Pierre that to download Audible, and my long drives down to Kingston, Belleville, Pembroke, whatever.
Yep.
Start listening to them. Or listening to the book instead of a podcast. Start listening to the actual book. See what happens.
Yeah. That's exactly what I did. And I think this ties in well because, like, I wanted to read more. I didn't make a New Year's resolution about it.
No.
I used to really like reading like physical books when I was younger, and just like as you get older, you start running out of time to do all those things and everything else. But like we've all got that drive to work, and like new music is terrible. So I listen to the same like 20 songs on my iPod going to and from work every day, and it's like I could have something a little bit more productive. And then so doing podcasts kind of got me into listening to those on the drive, and I was like, okay, I'm getting information. Yeah, well, what if I do audiobooks because it's the same thing? And now like it's I've built the habit of doing it, and I don't do it every day, although I try to do it every day. But yeah, this year I did 67 books.
Nice.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's impressive.
That
I
is
set
impressive.
a goal
Good
of
for you.
4 a month and crushed it.
Oh.
That's one
Nice.
a week.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and you crushed that by what, 15?
Yeah, and like so some of them are short books and you can do them in a day or whatever, but like others are Gulag Archipelago and other things like Peterson that take you
I was
like
gonna say for every dangerous game he got to the Gulag Archipelago, and they could each other out.
yeah. So, but I mean that's what those little incremental things and building those habits do. Is it then does something and you want to do it, and then I look at it and it's like, I got my thing that tells me my streak, and it was like 400 and something days in a row of reading every single day.
Yep.
And then I kind of had a day where I didn't even realize that I had missed it. And it took me like 2 weeks to realize that I had even missed reading the day. But like, I didn't feel bad about it because it's like, I still read a hell of a lot. And it just, and I never made this big announcement that I'm doing this. I just started doing it for me because I wanted to do it.
Yeah, I did basically the same kind of thing with the audiobooks. Started out with the podcast and realized, I'm actually learning some stuff from listening to this and not having the time because I'm constantly on the road and all over the place for work or at home, dealing with the kiddos and such. That the same thing. Like, well, how about I load up Audible and I'll start listening to a book here and see if I like it, see if I can actually get some knowledge from that versus having the book physically in front of me. And it was fantastic. And same thing. I just slowly started listening to a chapter here, a chapter there, and next thing you know, burning through books, gaining a bunch of knowledge out of it, and it was just literally just started it because.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
And Mel brings up a good point too. You can actually find a lot of these Audible books on YouTube's. So if you're at home or you have the unlimited data, really good reception all the time or whatever, you can actually find a bunch of those books. Like I had the physical book and I'm like, I don't have time to finish reading it, but I'm on, like 2-3 chapters before the episode on Monday nights when we're doing that. And I can find them on YouTube and listen to the last 2-3 chapters or whatever. Right. So even if it's, the Audible might not be an option, but even if you're at home and you decide to go on the YouTubes, find a book, it's at least to see if it's worth the subscription, right? The $15 a month or whatever it is for Audible. If you can get into it, you can find a bunch of books on YouTube. I mean, there's going to be ads unless you have a premium or whatever, but it's a good way to at least try it out and see if it's worth that investment for you.
Yeah, and I've definitely bounced back and forth between a physical copy and the audio as well, depending on because some things like I can retain a lot from hearing, but sometimes it gets too technical that I need to stop. Yeah. Because I'm a visual learner, so it's like no. I need to read this to really absorb this thing, and so
or when they say refer to Figure A, this is an Audible book, man.
It does not work well. Yeah. Like was it Left of Bang was one of those ones where it was like the broad concept I could easily get listening to it, but when he started talking about the clusters of behavior and stuff like that, I had to go, okay, hold on. I need to physically touch this one and read it to get that all to really sink in. But it helps me speed through the other parts of it that I don't need that for as well. So
that's good. Yeah, it's a good example. I think that really paints the picture for just starting something and just doing it because instead of it being a big, huge New Year's resolution thing.
Yeah, and multiple people have confirmed independent study that it worked,
Yep.
We didn't both plan to do it in the same way, but here we are.
Yep.
That's science.
That's true. That is science. That's completely science. It's almost like there'll be a CTV news article on it or something next week.
Yeah. Saying the exact opposite. And then 2 weeks later, the exact opposite of that.
A year later, then it's,
Only thing I put on there was maybe taking some time to do some research and making sure that whatever you're planning on taking on as whether it be a resolution or just something to improve yourself, just because someone else is doing it and you're like, well, I can do that, is it kind of going to be useful for yourself and whatever situation you're either preparing for or your life situation, if you can't run, I mean, taking up running as one of those things, but whether it be books, if you're looking into expanding your preps, maybe not just Googling and doing the first thing, but, taking some time to read a bunch of different reviews, articles, do some research on some stuff. Cause I have thrown out so much stuff that me and Mel have walked by, both of us, like, oh, that's a good deal. And then we buy it. And then, you're doing your clean out of the house in the spring and you're like, wow, we bought this 3 years ago and it's still in the box. Like, those impulse.
It's a good deal though.
I was just it was a great deal though.
Yeah. But now we've really taken that and just been like, okay, do we really need this? It's like, no, it's kind of just a cool thing. So, taking that into consideration that
take a picture
then you can
and
walk
away.
Yeah, take a picture and then, look into it. How long's the deal for? If there's only one on the shelf, okay, maybe do it. And then worst comes to worst, keep the receipt, you can return it. But yeah, that's one thing that I always try and push towards people. I'm like, take the time, do some research.
Yep.
And don't just follow the first thing you see. Go, if it's some product review or videos about something you want to learn, go on the YouTubes, look up 4 or 5 videos. If they're all kind of saying the same thing, you're probably on the right path. The first video might not have the right info for you. So it's
hold on. The internet never lies. Wait a minute.
Yeah. We're on the internet.
Do I have an episode for you?
Oh, yeah. And if you find deals on propane tanks, just go for it.
Yeah,
just go for it. It's probably not going to go through anyway.
It's probably not going to happen.
Full
go
send.
for it.
It either it won't work and you're not out anything, or it will and you'll have an abundance of propane tanks.
Yep. Oh, that was wild.
Oh, God.
Deal of the
That's
week:
such a piss
propane
off.
tanks.
If you can find them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Propane tanks and can openers. Yep. 2023 is off to a good start. Anybody else have anything they want to toss in for New Year, new prepper bullshit?
Not really. We touched on everything I was thinking of saying.
Cool. Let's touch on the podcast challenge then.
All right, if you're gonna make a change, keep it quiet and make it achievable, realistic, and maybe plan for a steady progression versus a giant one. So hopefully nobody talks about losing 50 pounds, getting elected PM, and winning the lottery all in the first week.
Oh, come on.
Guys,
Damn it, now I got to change my list.
unless you're a part-time drama instructor and snowboard instructor or something, you're probably not going to get elected PM. So
I've got a whole year to do that. We can make that happen.
That's fine. It's fine. Oh, man. Do we got
But
any
if they
upcoming
keep-
events?
If they keep it too quiet, then how are they going to tell us?
they keep it quiet after they've achieved it.
Okay.
And then until after they've achieved it, then once they've actually achieved it, then they can talk about it
Yeah.
and brag and humble brag all they want. In which case, we'll have to
Yeah, or not so humble brag if they accomplish something really good. Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't count it just by buying guns. I'm just saying for certain podcast panelists, just because you got a new gun doesn't make it a
Yeah.
cool thing, you know.
You found stock?
It wasn't me, that's for sure. Anyway, I've never
It's like a
gone to
propane
funeral.
tank thing, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
the
I've never-
propane tanks if you can
I
find
can-
one, right?
I've never gone to a funeral and bought a gun before, or got a gun at least, but
Yeah.
it turns out that
Yet.
it just turns out that is a thing. So
That's a thing for one of the panelists. Yep.
yeah,
I like Chris in the live chat here has got a good point. Realistic goals don't gain
Don't
weight.
gain weight.
That all
Yeah.
depends.
I
You
would
want to
settle
start
for-
going to the gym.
Yeah.
I would 100% settle for that right now. Just
Yep.
don't
Yeah.
gain any more weight.
Yeah.
But that all depends. But if you
Starting
want to start going to the
today
gym,
though, because I'd already ate bad food.
Well, there's no
Same here.
Yeah.
there's no calories between Christmas and New Year's, right? Like,
Oh, okay.
nothing
So good
counts.
then, yeah.
no, that's not
No,
how
you don't start the don't gain weight until 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, perfect. I'm on board then.
Perfect. All right. What do we got for upcoming events?
I think repeat from last week, but the Chilliwack Gun Show, January 22nd at 9 a.m. Over in Chilliwack, BC, of course, and gunshowtrader.com. There's a link in the show notes.
So the Radio Amateurs of Canada is putting on their basic ham radio course. Starts on January the 26th. Sounds like a great resolution to get your license. It ends in early April. You can sign up. The link is in the show notes. I'll toss it in the live chat here as well. And just a reminder, if you look at it and you say, I might not be able to make a couple of these days, it's not a big deal. They do record those classes and email them out. So if you miss a day, you still get a copy so you can catch up if need be. So check that out. The price is $50 for the class and about $50 for the book. So you're about $100 in total to get into the course, unless you can find somebody that has the book already. But yeah, check that out. And weather blurb from Jeff.
All right. So as I mentioned earlier, we'll have hopefully a bit of a discussion on this. So basically, the storm that I mentioned at the last podcast as being a good possibility and potentially being as bad as the blizzard of 77 actually came to fruition for the most part. Sorry, a lot of things that I mentioned happened. Extreme cold, low wind chill values, heavy snow, whiteouts. Western New York was hit exceptionally hard because of the addition of lake effect snow. And I see we have a new listener here, Jake from upstate New York. Not Jake from State Farm, but Jake from upstate New York. If you're still on and you want to, your boots on the ground there, you want to throw something in the live chat about your experience or your thoughts on this, by all means, throw something in there.
I just want to know if he's wearing khakis.
No, this time of year.
No, hopefully not. So a lot of people have asked, and I've heard it in a lot of the chats that I've been in, is that they just want to know, like, well, why did so many people die? They knew this was coming. I mean, I mentioned it on a Sunday night, and it didn't happen until Thursday. And I think a lot of it is complacency. Weather forecasting is difficult, even in this day and age with technology and everything that they have. It's difficult, and more often than not, it's off the mark. I mean, where I live, we were in a bullseye saying we could get 50 to 100 centimeters of snow. We got snow, but we got nowhere near the 50 to 100 centimeters. And I think that just, as I say, it leads to complacency and people just not taking the danger seriously. In Ontario, at least, where I'm from, obviously, several small towns, especially in the Niagara region, had to actually declare emergency status, putting out emergencies. Fort Erie literally put a request on the fire department, put a request on their business page or whatever for people with snowmobiles to come and help them respond to calls.
Do you know if people responded to that? Like, did they get help from snowmobilers?
Yeah, they did. They actually posted and said, "We've got enough people. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Anybody else, we'll put you on a list." But yeah, they got people. So that worked out really well. And for the first time that anybody can remember in a long, long, long time, the major highway, the 401, was closed all the way from east of Toronto to the Quebec border.
Yep.
Did we ask Scott if he remembers that?
We did, and he does not. That's how long it's been.
That's how long.
Time then.
It even affected and stopped train service. I think that was worse than it needed to be, but we'll just leave it at that. It stranded hundreds of people for hours and hours with no food, no water, overflowing toilets. Apparently, it was just the trains were just a disaster. And there's apparently there one train was stalled not far from a town, and nobody in the town or the train company didn't call the town or call the local police and say, "Hey, FYI, we've got a train out there with a whole bunch of people in it." They got no
Coburg
food,
way, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did. Yep, near Coburg, and they didn't even know about it. So,
and it's not like you can see out the window.
Yeah,
like you can see anything. Like I couldn't see the vehicles in my driveway, and they're like 20 feet from my house. Right. So I mean, it was pretty bad.
Yep. Lots of areas lost power for several hours, even days. People had no way to stay warm. We tried to tell a lot of not us, but the media, the townships, everything. We're telling people, don't go out and drive. Don't go out and drive.
Yep.
And they went out and drove, and they got stuck. And not only is it unsafe for them, now they're complaining that the roads aren't getting plowed. Well, how are they supposed to get a plow through all of the stalled or stopped or stranded cars that people have abandoned because they shouldn't have been there in the first place?
Just push them. Inside voice. Yep. So, if people felt the need to get out because they didn't prepare properly, they didn't have enough food, they didn't have enough water to sustain them for several days. As we mentioned a bit earlier, most of the deaths were exposure related. Either carbon monoxide in your vehicle or, there's lots of stories. Hey, I'm going to walk to the store. It's 2 blocks away, and they never come back. Yep. I think you really hit the nail on the head there with the complacency thing, right? A lot of people get, especially in today's day and age where everything's so conveniently available and it's right there. Snap a finger down the road. It's right there. You can get it. It's always been available. It's always been something you can always, get to very easily. And then all of a sudden we have a big storm event like this where you're now stuck for a couple of days, which, if you've got some stuff in your house and you're ready for that, it's not a big deal. But if you don't, you already all of a sudden have this realization of, oh, I'm stuck now. I can't go anywhere. The roads are closed. They're not being plowed. I can't get to the store. What do I do? Right? Complacency, I think, is you just nailed it right there. It's a thing that's happened in society, and a lot of people just reliant on being able to just get things as they need them.
Yeah,
I'd heard that with the storm coming, there were a bunch of people that had made comparisons of what this storm was going to bring to that of the ice storm of 98. And that was 24 years ago. And I will never forget that time. And I'm so happy that I had stuff in my house. I had gas cans in the garage and a generator ready to go. things set up. I did have to drive my wife to and from work both those days because she's a PSW and she was absolutely needed. And I have no problems in driving her. 4 different places on the trip there, stalled vehicles in the ditch. There was one vehicle that we passed it going one way to her work, and it just looked like a snowdrift. I came back the other way and realized that was an actual car.
Yep.
It was complete. It was a Honda CRV. They're not small, like they're not low, but they're kind of a smaller SUV. But it was completely covered over. Yep. I just so happened to catch the tail light in the headlights, the reflection off the tail light in my headlights as I was going back to home to go around that snowdrift. And realized that there is a car in there.
Yep.
Could you imagine if you couldn't see that light and that snowplow driver?
Yeah.
That would have been a whole mess.
A bit of a wake up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to see it from a safe distance for sure, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
and unfortunately, when situations like this happen, there is that element of society that want to take advantage of that situation, especially in the Buffalo area, was looters.
Yep.
Huge problem with looters. Once the police were unable to travel, or they were tied up with other rescues or whatever, people just started looting. They just, taking anything they could find, going into, I can almost understand if you're in that life-threatening situation where you don't have food or you don't have water and that's all you're going to grab. But people are going in and they're walking out with TVs and VCRs and video games. You can't tell me that you need that to survive.
So who's going to call them on the VCR thing?
I was just waiting for it. I was like, come on.
Okay, a Blu-ray. How's that? Is that
No,
any better?
still too
No.
You just grabbed the smart TV and you don't need anything.
Yeah.
Well, but see, they needed the VCR because the internet was also down, so at least they could watch their stack of VHS tapes to survive.
But just when you think people are
Gavin
super
to the
oblivious
rescue.
everything, they know exactly when the police are unable to respond to stuff, and within minutes they're looting. And with the exception of a few, I guess wannabe rooftop Koreans in Buffalo, they managed to deter a few looters with some gunshots. Much like LA riots, they did a pretty good job of scaring them off there. But it's amazing how fast that went to looting right off the bat. Like they didn't even wait a day. It was like within hours.
Nope.
Right.
And
those Black Friday sales are great, but even better when it's free, right?
that's right.
And that leads to a whole nother issue of you need something like the food, the water, whatever. You somehow manage to get to that store by foot or whatever way, and you trudge your way there, and the store's been looted and it's empty, and there's whatever you were looking for you can't find. So
Buffalo needs to take advice from Fort Erie and ask the snowmobilers to come and help.
With toboggans behind them so they can carry the extra stuff when they loot the stores. Oh, wait a minute.
VCRs are heavy.
No, wrong people, Ian. Wrong people.
Oh, yeah, wrong people, yeah.
The other side of the fence.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was horrible. I last I knew they were still finding bodies buried under snowdrifts and stuck in cars that are buried under snowdrifts, and it again, like I said, and Eric agreed, it's just the complacency of people saying, yeah, you said the last time I was going to get all this snow and I never got it. So you're telling me this time and I don't give a crap and I'm not going to worry about getting all that stuff. And then it happens and you go, oh, now what do I do? Well, we tried to tell you. I mean, the old adage of prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Mm-hmm. I think that really sums it up here was nobody was prepared for the worst. And where a lot of people weren't. Some people were, but a lot of people weren't, and it really showed its ugly side.
Yeah, but what's the worst thing that happens is you go and hopefully you've already got the stuff, but even if you don't already have some stuff on hand and you go somewhat last minute to get some extra stuff to prepare for this because they've told you to do so. Like if you're smart and you don't buy like, I'm going to just go and buy like fresh fruit that's going to go bad, like, and you buy non-perishable food items and other things that will have some shelf life for at least several weeks. At least like 2-3 weeks from now, when you got to go to the grocery store again, your grocery bill will be less. So like you're not losing out. It's not like you spend all this money on something that like, well, now I got to throw it out because I didn't use it. Like,
hold on. Are you suggesting that you purchase food items that you would eat during normal times?
I mean, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So not
key.
the giant bucket of granola, unless you're into that.
Oh, hey, yeah, granola is your thing.
Yeah. Looking at you, hippie there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, cheesy poops are also an option too. I mean, you get the big Costco size of tub of cheesy poops.
They're right there, Cartman.
Yeah. I mean, peanuts have some, pretty calorie dense food, but like, I don't want to live on them.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
So now that's kind of in the past, and I think a lot of people will learn lessons from it, hopefully. On to some of the future stuff that's coming up. So with all this warm weather that's taken over, obviously everybody knows, you get warm weathers, you get storms. So there is the slight potential for some pretty severe storms. Tornadoes are not out of the question. I don't think they're going to be a big deal. Down and around the Texas, Arkansas, Alabama area down there. The storm should start around noon Monday and will continue into the night. They'll weaken. They'll pick up again on Tuesday as they move east. And, the sun comes up, it warms the ground and whatever. So just be cognizant of that if you're down in that area. On a possible good news front, California and the West Coast is starting to see some significant rain. They, as everybody knows, they've been in some pretty serious drought conditions for a long time. Yes, I believe it was yesterday. San Francisco got over 5 inches of rain in 24 hours. They haven't had that number in over 3 years. So,
but they got it all in a day, and they have nowhere to.
That's part of the problem. But it'll flow into the rivers and get into the lakes, hopefully, and stuff like that. It's an atmospheric river. Ian will know about that from BC there last year when they got all that rain. So, there's going to be another couple of what they call these atmospheric rivers coming up and over the next several days. So, they're getting some much needed rain. Yeah, too much sometimes. But I think in their case, they would rather take too much than getting nothing and continuing to get nothing. I've thrown a couple links in there for a weather guy that kind of explains everything that he thinks is going to come. I get a lot of my information from him. He's pretty accurate. So they'll be in the show notes. You can have a look at them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sadly, San Francisco is like the only green part of like northern, like I guess middle California, and so of course it goes directly into the bay from San Francisco. So there's the rest of California gets sweet F all, and it's pretty much a desert 30 miles east of town. But hopefully they get a little stuff inland too.
Yeah, they were actually saying, and I didn't put it in the notes, but the Sierra Nevadas up in the mountains, they're saying they could get between 5 and 7 feet of snow over the next 4 days. So
that's good because that's what feeds LA too. So
yeah.
And I mean, the streets of San Francisco could probably use a little rinsing out.
so I'll say.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we move into a deal of the week?
Yeah, I don't know who put Darius. I thought it was Better Andrew that gave us the deal. Maybe it's Darius. I can't remember which. But
Better Andrew was
propane tanks. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Whatever. I guess he's just being a smart ass. So Canadian Tire has a 100-watt solar panel on for the regular price, but they call it a sale price of 45% or $180 off. It's $219 for a 100-watt solar panel at CT. So Link will go in the show notes. And then, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. All right. Well, with that, I will bring episode number 189 of the Canadian Prepper podcast to an end. You can find the podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, or, of course, your favorite podcast app. Please do help us out. Submit a review. It does help other people find us.
And we do record these shows live on Facebook and YouTube. If you want an early peek at the shows, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Canadian Prepper Podcast, and click the notifications tab. That will give you an alert when we're going live. If anybody wants to reach me, you can contact me at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca, or I am frequently on our Discord.
Brad. Oh, actually, it's got Gavin. Sorry.
Gavin.
Well, I guess the best place you can find me is on Instagram, UrbexGTA, or, if and when we decide to teach some things again with Ragnarok Tactical.
I'm hoping that you guys do a land nav course in the next little while. My little nephew has picked it up a little bit, and he's wanting to get out and do some orienteering and whatnot. And we're going to talk to him tonight at the family dinner. And he's
For you guys, we'll make it happen.
well, we'll see. We'll see in the summer. He's not a big cold person. He doesn't like going out in the wintertime, but we'll see if his interest is still there in the summer. But
that's all right.
We'll talk.
As long as he shows up
happen.
As long as he shows up wearing a taxation and Steph t-shirt, he'll fit right in.
Yeah.
That's a requirement for entry, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it sucks when you have to pay taxes on the entry fee while wearing that shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and on the shirt and on the
Yeah, it's a lot of theft. Yep.
Oh, if anybody wants to reach out, it's bradcpp@gmail.com.
You can reach me off the wall customizing. We're on Tickety Talk, Instagrams, I think other things. I'm not on the Discord often, but if you send me a message there, I'll get a notification. And also on Monday nights, I am on the other CPP where we talk government and stupidity.
And money wasting and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can reach Ian directly by emailing me at theoutertreat@gmail.com. So you can also find myself, Pierre, Gavin, and anybody else that wants to join us on YouTube Monday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern. Only place I'm allowed to go now is the Gilded app for the OG CPP. So email if you want an invite. What's that?
For now.
For now. Well, do lifetime bans ever go away? I guess it did for What's My Pickle there on Instagram. So, or was it Twitter?
Twitter.
Twitter. Orange Band Bad is back there, I guess. So,
just call up Elon and he'll sort it for you.
Yeah. Do you know who I am, Elon? Come on. Anyways, there you can find us discussing why government waste in society has me settling for some small personal victories versus the unattainable big ones.
All right. Please check out Rapid Survival at rapidsurvival.com. There you can take care of some of your resolutions if you'd like by making some purchases. You can also email me at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. Thanks for joining this evening. Until next time, be prepared, stay safe,
and keep learning.